medical doctors and nutritionists tell us that wine is good for our health, for the body. They often recommend that, a glass of wine, it helps your digestive system and so on and so forth. But we know that too much of it is harmful, is destructive, is counterproductive. It is not helpful. It is harmful and hurtful to the body, to our health, and to so many other things. We know that there are people who have gotten into troubles because they drank a little more than they should have drunk, and they became drunk. And then the wine took control of their actions. DUI and the rest of them these are simple examples that easily come to mind. What is more, many relationships today have been ruined because of alcoholism. In our department here, we deal with these cases every day, that marriages crash. They come to an end because one of the partners is an alcoholic and can't get out of it. It is a huge problem. What are we talking about here? Much as wine in itself is good, when it is taken in excess, it could produce the counter effect, the undesired effect. And then the result is always very embarrassing, devastating, very unfortunate. This is what we see in the first reading of today's Mass. The king Belshazzar, the son of Nebuchadnezzar, who succeeded his father, was having a feast and celebrating with his soldiers and generals and his family, his wives and children. And then the first reading clearly states that the king, under the influence of alcohol, under the influence of wine, probably he had taken a lot. And now, being influenced by wine, he gave orders, just go and bring out all the sacred vessels of gold and silver that my father brought when he attacked and conquered Jerusalem. All of those chalices, these things we use in celebrating the Mass, they are sacred because they are dedicated to the Lord. His father Nebuchadnezzar stole them when he attacked and destroyed the temple in Jerusalem. He brought them back to their country. These are sacred objects dedicated to God. Now, because wine has taken over, this king now says, bring them. I and my visitors and my family, we want to drink from them. Let's use them and enjoy. That was sacrilegious. It was the height of insult to God. It was the height of, lack of sense of the sacred, lack of respect for the things of God. And they started enjoying, drinking from it, enjoying themselves, dancing, making merry. Suddenly, a hand appeared at the wall behind them and started writing. Everybody was seized with fear. That was God. God appeared and his hand was writing. And then, to cut the long story short, they had to bring in the prophet Daniel to interpret the handwriting on the wall. And Daniel came and explained it to the king, that God has lost confidence in you, that you have been found wanting, and your kingdom is going to be split because of what you have done. That is your punishment. So this confirms and validates what we said ab initio, that when you drink in excess, it becomes very dangerous and very destructive. And that is why the king landed himself in trouble. My dear beloved brothers and sisters, in this very moment and today, we need to pray for those who are struggling with one form of addiction or the other. When we discuss wine, it is a reductionistic argument or consideration. It is too restrictive. Wine is a representation of anything that has to do with addiction. Whatever people are addicted to, that is a problem for them, and we need to pray for them, especially today. Those things that we take, and then they take away our senses, and we begin to act and behave abnormally, we need to pray for such people who are dealing with such, that God might deliver them and save them. Finally, tomorrow is Thanksgiving, and we are already in a celebrative mood or festive mood. People have the right to eat turkey and drink to help in the digestion. But I don't expect someone to drink so much and then call me on the phone and say, Father Chidi, bring me the chalice. I also want to drink from it, just as the king did in the first reading. What are we saying here? I mean, when you are eating and drinking, take the much that you can handle so that you don't get into trouble, just as the king did get into trouble.